Hello everyone, EternAlgoRhythm here. Today we're going to talk about the editor for EternAlgoRhythm and how can we make the minimal project, the minimal collection for others to play. First things first, how do you exit the editor? You can just press this return to main menu button, return to the main menu. You can press the editor button and now you're in the editor. You can also use shortcuts. Here there's the back to main menu shortcut, which is Ctrl+Q. You can press the button there, or you can press Ctrl+Q, and we're back to main menu. Okay, so to make a new collection, we click the new collection button, we select the collections folder, and then we write a name, so my collection.cll. We need to call this file as CLL because otherwise the game will not recognize our file. The editor will still allow us to change it, but the game will not notice that there's a new file. By the way, if you want to see your files, you need to test them within the editor or close the game completely and reopen it. Otherwise, it will not appear in the tracks, in the collections available. So first what we do is we can choose a name for our collection. I'm going to call it my collection and press enter, and we have my collection here. We also are going to add an author. So I notice that here's where it's being written. Write EternAlgoRhythm, and we have here our author. You can add a subtitle if you want for your collection. And these are the buttons that will change the instruments if we don't want a grand piano, for example, and want a piano number 36 or a guitar. We'll keep that for now. Yeah, this is the main collection data section. However, most of the work we're going to do are in these scripting parts. So the first one we're going to work with is in the part one, and we can change these with this button on the top right of the screen. And as this is a minimal example, I'm not exactly going to explain everything I'm going to be doing. I'll just show you what's the minimum that we need to do. So first I'm going to create a label with Ctrl+L. I can also use this button here to create a label. I don't need the label, so I will delete the new one. And I'm going to call this label start. Then I'm going to press Ctrl+P and create a passage. You can also use this button here. And I'm going to connect the two. And here within this passage, I'm going to write open and close bracket, an I inside and a dot inside. This essentially is an infinite loop of the simplest possible output. We're gonna save it for now with Ctrl+S, and then we move to the measure. Here is where we're going to have to do the more difficult part for this minimal setup. We first make a new label, call it start. We make a new passage. And here you'll just have to trust me for now. There will be a proper tutorial on everything related to this section of harmony. For now, what we will do is write double quotes, capital B min dot, then space, double quotes, capital A maj dot, double quotes, capital G maj dot, and finally double quotes, capital F, capital S 7. Dot. This is essentially telling the machine which harmonies we're going to be using, which chords we're going to be using, and these are predefined. When I press this, when I press F5, I see which are the predefined harmonies. So I can see, for example, the B min is right here. The A maj is right here, and so on. We'll see how we can actually create our own harmonies in a much future tutorial. For now, we'll just keep this like this. We can press F4 to close the information. Now we go into the base, and as you might guess, what we do is we create a label, we call it start, then we create a passage and we connect it to, and here we're just going to do the same as we did for the part. We're just going to write an infinite loop with the simplest possible output, and this already should give us some quite interesting things. I can now test this with test and run, and I can close this with close console, which I mostly will be using the F6 and F4 keys. At the moment, nothing is happening because we haven't saved. So what we're going to do is we save, and now we see that there's the base going. So the base is going through the course that we defined in the measure. And already what we can do is start improvising. Yeah, so now let's try to add some of those notes into the lead instrument. And so what we're going to do is we press Control L, we create the start label, we create a passage, and now what I'm going to do is going to write equals 6 and then dot. And what this does is this creates nothing because we haven't saved. So we save, and now it creates a single note. If we create 3 notes, we have 3 notes. As soon as we create 4 notes, it will be long enough so that the game knows that we can just loop this forever. And so now it just loops forever. So what if we write equals 7 and then equals 5 and then equals 4? That will be the note number 6, then the 7, then the 5, then the 4. And we can play test this quite easily. And that is all for the minimal tutorial. We'll probably explain everything properly in the future tutorials. Yeah, thanks for joining.